every single car has a story. And so does this one. And I'm going to try and fill in what I think I know about this car's story. So let's do it. So this car was built in the third week of September 1963. And that makes it a very, very early production Chevelle. Now, in case you don't know, in the early years of Chevrolet, General Motors, they used to shut down all the plants across the nation for the month of August. They would retool, retrain, and get ready for the next model year. When they introduced the Chevelle, they had shut down the lines for August, and then they started building September 1st. So being the third week of September in 1963, they were building the cars that would be released and debuted later that year. Now, of course, 64 is the first year for the Chevelle, so there was going to be a lot of hoopla. Now, what they would do is they would build up an inventory of cars in September, October, November, deliver those cars to dealerships, and they go on sale the first of the year. Not like today where they release cars and they're releasing the 2025s already, So there was a lot of hoopla around a brand new model car, let alone a brand new year car. Now, this car was built in Baltimore, and I find that in itself to be very interesting. And I'll tell you why I find that interesting. Because when this car was built, it was red with a black top and black interior. Now, why would they be building a red convertible in Baltimore that was going to go on sale in January? I mean, you want to talk about places, corners of the country, of the United States that has tough weather in January. Why would they be building convertibles? And what I was thinking, and this is only hypothetical, I honestly don't know. What I was thinking is this car was going to go on a showroom floor as the example, as the dream car. So this car would be maybe, something that would attract people into the dealership. It would be on the dealership showroom floor inside. You can come in, get out of the weather, take a look at this car, and dream about things that, maybe you could have one day. Maybe you're there looking at the Chevelle, but driving out with a Corvair or a station wagon or a van or truck. But this is on the showroom floor, kind of like what they do with the Corvette today. Because the Corvette, that's why one of the reasons that, they build the Corvette is something for Chevrolet customers to aspire to, And I find that very interesting. I think that's a plausible reason why they built a red convertible in Baltimore in the very earliest of production. This thing was just something to bring in the customers. Now, I have no idea, when this car was actually purchased. I need to send away, because you can send away to GM and get the history of this car. And I plan to do that, give them the VIN number, and I can get the history of this car. And that's what I need to do, because I'd like to know, when was it actually sold, who bought it, where did it go. Now, I don't know the history, where it went, how it lived, but there is a video that popped up on YouTube, and it's from, I believe, 2011. And the video is in Texas. It looks like it's, recorded with a potato. It's just horrible sound quality, horrible video quality. but it's definitely this car after it had been restored. And what I find really interesting is that it had a classic big block, and the air cleaner says 396, and it has factory bucket seats, it has factory console, it had some other different wheels. I think it had rally wheels on it at the time, and that was the car, you know. And then the car appears again on YouTube. Now this time it's like 2013, I think, and it's at a car dealership in Chicago. And it's definitely the same car, same wheels, same interior, except for now the engine's been upgraded from 396 to 454 with a sticker change on the air cleaner. So now it's a little dealership upgrade, and now it says it's a 454. Now I do know for a fact that that is the dealership that the guy I bought it from bought the car from. So the car came then from Chicago. Now I bought it from a guy in Golden, Colorado. So then the car comes to me here in California, so it's been coast to coast and everywhere in between, back and forth. I don't know what the true story of this car is, you know, and all the lives and children and families that have ridden in this thing and the beach trips and everything, but it started life as a 283 with a 2-speed power glide. I think these all had drum brakes up front. I think discs may have been an option, or they may not have been available yet in the 64. And now, of course, it's got an LSX 454. It would have been, from the factory, it would have been 195 horsepower. Unless it had air conditioning, then it would have been 220 horsepower. And now, of course, it's 600 horsepower. I find it interesting how these things, you know, they change hands, they continue on. Another interesting fact about the 64 Chevelle, whenever you see one of these, it's carrying its original fenders, hood, and trunk lid. Now these do share sheet metal with the 65s, with the quarter panel, floors, trunk floor, and door outer skins. But everything, oh, and I think the roof. Everything else is 64 original. They don't make 64 fenders or hood or trunk lid. There's no reproduction parts for that. So, I mean, you can get bumpers and grills and all interior parts, all the chrome bits you can get reproductions for, but there are no fenders or hood, which is interesting. I think that's strange. They built 235,000 of these in the first year. I don't know how many convertibles or station wagons or whatnot, but it's not particularly a rare car or low production, but it is a fun car. It's a fun car to drive. There's not a lot of 64s out and about. They don't seem to be as collectible. Since I've had this car, I've done a lot of work to it. When it came to me, I think this thing was just restored, maybe sent to auction, or restored and not quite finished. I assume that it was done by a professional company, because whoever did this car did it right. They put in new floors, they're brand new trunk, brand new. I assume that the quarter panels are brand new. There's no serial numbers on the drip rail around the sides of it. So I think this car has got a lot of sheet metal, brand new sheet metal in it, and whoever did it did a very nice job. There's a little bit on the panel gaps to be desired, but the paint was laid down really nice, and they really did do a very good job, and I applaud them for that. And I assume that this thing costs, you know, a pretty penny to do. They basically went through the catalog and bought everything brand new. Full interior, all the chrome on the outside of this car is brand new. They did a very, very nice job. Now, when I got the car, a lot of the stuff just didn't work. Whoever did the engine install didn't do a very good job, and the engine management had problems. The transmission wiring wasn't done properly, so the transmission was misbehaving and going into limp mode, so you couldn't drive it very far. It just had a lot of issues. The windows didn't line up, the top didn't meet the windows, so it had a lot of things that needed to be gone through, and I've been doing that over the last 3 years, and it's finally turned into a drivable car, but it's not done yet. I'm in the middle of a air conditioning install, and the next thing that absolutely has to be done is this car has to be rewired. It is an absolute rat's nest, and it doesn't seem to matter what I'm working on, it always turns into an electrical problem. If you follow me on YouTube and you've seen my shorts video, I did a shorts video series on me building a cold air box for the air cleaner, so it won't ingest the hot air from the headers. And in the middle of that, it turned into an electrical problem because I was dealing with had to move some of the wiring that was around the behind the headlight where I was working, and now I have an electrical problem. And every time I'm working on this car, it turns into an electrical problem. So I have ordered a whole new wiring harness, and I'll be replacing the entire wiring system very soon. So that will probably be part of my air conditioning video series, so look for that coming soon. That's already been ordered. I ordered from American Auto Wire. I really like that company. Did some research on them. American company, American employees, American wire, and I'm trying to do that with this car, use American products. And so that's going to be coming probably, like I said, as part of the air conditioning video series, so look for that coming soon. Anyway, that's a little bit of a story on this car, the story that I know. I do think it's feasible that this car was built to be purposely put on the showroom floor in stunning red and black in Baltimore in the winter time, to be sitting in the showroom floor to bring in customers. Anyway, that's the story I'm going with. Thanks for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing. Maybe pick up a t-shirt, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.